The following video is brought to you by the guys at the Wrecking and Racing Podcast, a NASCAR podcast made by the fans for the fans. Check them out at www.wreckingandracing.com, facebook.com/wreckingandracing, and Twitter at Wrecking and Racing.
Drivers, start your engines.
Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Saka here, and welcome back to another episode of NASCAR Racing 2003 season. We are back on the oval at Chicagoland in Joliet, Illinois. Back to the mile-and-a-half bread and butter that the series is based off of. Brandon on the pole for this race. I am outside row 2. We have the 1.5-mile ace, Martin Truex Jr. Starting right in front of us, William Byron to our inside, and Kyle Busch behind him. Should be a pretty fast race, only 40 miles, and getting ready to go green here. Pace car is in, and green flag, green, gone green. Truex with a pretty good boost on the outside. Brandon holding station there. Byron under us here, up through the gears cleanly, and let's see if we can hit that second groove. Car is extremely loose to start, so we can't put the throttle down completely too early. We get a run here, trap behind Truex. We have to roll out of it just a touch. Let's see if we can hit that second groove and follow Truex around. If we can get a fender on the outside of Byron, he can't come up to the wall, but he does. So we've cleared Kyle and settled in fourth behind William Byron, who is on a tear. Brandon leads lap 1. Truex is not letting him go, though. Now we can hit the white line, pick and choose our battles. We do have to pit this race. We will be about 3 laps short of fuel if we ran it out. So in order to get the most out of our tires, probably pitting halfway is going to be the name of the game, and I imagine the AI will do something similar. Byron is still on the outside. Truex looking to the inside of Brandon. He's trying to hold him off here. We'll get to the inside of Truex. Good run. Car is really loose, wanting to wash up. As long as we can stay under Truex and get that good run, we're fine. Really loose off, and we actually got a bit of a run on Brandon looking to his inside. We'll see how turn 3 treats us here. We don't want to overdrive. We have cleared Truex and now set our sights on Brandon. Almost up to the wall. Chicago wall narrows up very, very quickly. You think you have a lot more room out there than you do. So we will watch out our windshield and out of our mirror and see if Truex has anything for us. We'll also maintain, because I think we're going to try a little bit of pit strategy today. If the tires manage to last, I think we can pull one over and do a 2-tire change. But we'll see what our condition of tires, what our condition of tires are in at the halfway mark. If it looks like we've chewed up through a ton of them, we'll go ahead and change 4. But if it looks like we can take care of our left sides, then we'll do right sides only and not repair the damage, because you don't need it. This is a high-speed downforce track, but, I'm not going to spend an extra 5 to 10 seconds on pit road repairing damage, because that defeats the purpose, especially if we stay under green. So we'll sort of pace Brandon a bit. We won't let him get too far away, but we won't try to really run him down either. We'll sort of see what he does. Let the car come to us. Truex is still holding strong back there, just a touch. So as long as Truex doesn't make any bold moves, we should be okay. Peeking in that mirror, he is trying to take the bottom, but I think if we continue to click off smooth laps, get off the turns well, then he won't be able to get us. Brandon takes that apron, and that is not out of bounds. It will be next week when we go to Daytona, however. Looking forward to the plate track. Oh, Brandon washing up there. Pushing pretty badly. We managed to close up the gap and get a run. Let's see if we can get our nose on the inside of here without pushing too hard. He is on our outside. We can put the power down, but we have to keep low. Car was a little loose there. Brandon will be fighting back on the outside, rolls out of it. So we led a lap here at Chicago. Hopefully we can lead some more. We had Brandon by a half a second there. So it looked like his turn 4 was not the best. But that isn't going to change our strategy. We'll continue to roll out nice and early. We'll continue to pace ourselves. And that's what Cup drivers have to get used to. The longer races, you have to realize that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and don't use up all your stuff. And that applies here because we're running the ×3 tire and fuel wear. It's almost like going 3 times further into a run, so, you know, patience pays off. Scrape the wall just a touch, no worse for the wear. Oh, really, really loose in turn 3. And I think we'll be fighting that every single lap. The car is definitely fast, but we have to take care of it. So 1/3 of the way through the race here. Oh, little loose. Bring it back. I tell you, this track is very aero sensitive, and Brandon is right there on the back bumper. It does feel like there is no air going to this spoiler at all. I am having a rough time keeping it reined in and off the wall. Eggshells indeed. Brandon makes the pass there on the apron. We'll give it to him. No sense in racing hard. We have about 4 laps until we decide to come down to pit road. Basically ideal if we can get to some lap cars but not pass them. That way we can try to pit without messing with any lap cars whatsoever, because lap cars, that's bad mojo. Oh, a good solid run. Maybe Brandon is fighting a little bit of a push. I don't believe Brandon is running this particular setup. I think he's running the setup that is more snug in the corners. So while we are struggling with loose off, he looks to be struggling with tight off. But we'll do-si-do around a bit. Keeps it interesting up here at the front because I don't believe Martin Truex Jr. has anything for us today. Next week at Daytona will be a whole lot more close in the pack for sure. But this is 1.5 miles. We're going to try to do our Kyle Busch impression and really step it out multiple seconds in front of the lead here. So not a bad corner there, and we are a few laps away from pit road, and indeed I do see some lap cars in the distance. So we'll see if we can hunt them down. We won't overdrive to catch them by any means, but, you know, if we catch them, we catch them. But we are definitely within our fuel window now. Any time to stop is fine. And if we are doing our strategy, we basically just want to ask how long do we want fresh right side tires for. Ideally we want it for as long as possible, but then again, we want it to be fast. We don't want it to give up the speed. And as balanced as we are, I mean, the car is loose, but not too terribly loose. I imagine our tire wear is going to be pretty similar across the board. But I think next time by, we will be pitting. We will be catching these lap cars soon, so we might as well. That way we don't give ourselves a headache. Tires are looking green. I'm going to go for just the right side tires this time. So hopefully we don't overshoot pit road. We'll be in the 4th pit stall down at the end of pit road. And here we go. Let's slow down some. Let's make sure that we brake in as straight a line as possible right there. Down to 3rd, down to 2nd, 3,500. And I think we made the commitment cone. We should be fine. We just have to look for pit stall number 4 at the end here and then get our right side tires. All right, boys, fill up as much fuel as we need. Right side tires, let's go.
Back it up, please.
All right, tires are on. What are we waiting for? Damage? Don't fix the damage. Let me go.
Okay, go.
All right, tear away. Brandon is taking 4. His left sides are going on. We'll clear him off of pit road. And then it's just going to be a matter of how well do we blend back into traffic. Is there going to be a yellow to pin us down? Since it looked like we were the first on pit road, it would be in these guys' best interest to run it out as long as they can, which may force them to do a 4-tire change. Who knows? Let's see how the car is handling now. It should be a bit tighter. the car, well, I say that, but still loose off. Maybe I hear that taking right sides amplifies your condition, so if you're running tight, you'll be even more tight. If you're loose, you'll be even more loose. And around these lap cars, loose is the last thing I need here. So let's clear him. Let's not go under McMurray. Let's take the outside lane and hope that the Menards car ducks down to the bottom. Indeed, Blaney does take the bottom. We'll get a right side on him. Scrape the wall just a bit, but we are clear. Let's see how we come back around now. So we're still in last, well, next to last. No one else is pitted. Brandon is a few seconds back. Now with 4 tires, Brandon is going to be a speed demon. He'll be running much faster than us. But the 13 car is for position, so let's take a look for Ty Dillon. And indeed, everyone seems to be coming down pit road now. There goes Austin. Everyone on pit road, let's get our lap back. Let's see how it shakes out here. So we've made up some positions. The 43 must have been on pit road. And the 27, Brandon, is behind us at 2 seconds. He made up a second trying to catch us. So the question is, catching us is one thing, passing us is another. Will he have enough? At this rate, he may be chewing through his tires a bit. I imagine he's driving very quickly, and he was the pole sitter, so he can lay down some very fast laps here. All right, so I couldn't see where Brandon was behind us because car coming off pit road actually crossed the line and was scored behind us. But I'm keeping an eye out in the mirror there. We are making passes. Let's see if we can get around this car cleanly and continue on. Holding the lead nice and comfortable, and I'm not going to try to overdrive. We'll see where we are this time around here. So we are the leader. There's Brandon, and he is closed up within a second of us. So he is definitely driven hard. There he is in the mirror in between the second and third windshield brace. Now, we've got strong windshield braces. You won't see any buckling or holes in our rear window, that's for sure. Trying to overdrive it here. I'm watching the mirror more than the windshield, unfortunately. 6 laps to go now. He is within 0.4. If he's going to pass me, I wish he'd just do it instead of lurking back there. I mean, I am running hard. I'm not overdriving it, I don't believe, but here in the next couple laps, I might have to pick up the pace a bit. All right. Brendan Gaughan didn't slow us down. That's always good. Brandon within 0.3 now. 5 laps to go. And this is where the money is. If I make a mistake, he is going to be right there to pounce. And it's possible. I mean, as loose as this car has been, if I overdrive just one corner, it's all over. We're washing up just a little bit. Car is a little unstable. We need to drive off these turns as straight as possible, carry the most speed we can. 4 laps to go, and he is still right there in the mirror. Up, car's starting to wash up, pushing up just a little bit. We can't hold that white line anymore. We might have to adjust our line. And if Brandon's been running the bottom, that's what he'll want to see. We'll do what we can to run the second groove, like right on the outside. I think that would be the best of both worlds. That'd be where we are particularly fast without giving up speed, trying to hook the bottom. We gapped him just a little bit there. 3 laps to go. Yeah, car is not wanting to hook the white line, so second groove is where we're going to want to run. And only about 3 miles of racing left. Yeah, the outside of turn 3 and 4 is where we can really pull off some speed, I think. Oh, we gapped him. We're over a second now with 2 laps to go, so whatever I'm doing must be working. Let's try to keep our focus on. Lap traffic will not be a factor. I don't believe we'll be coming to 1 lap to go. And man, I'm catching this guy pretty quick. Oh, come on, man. Pick up some speed. Don't get in my way, please. They should have the blue flag out there for him. All right, left front is in yellow. 1 lap to go, 1.4. So we actually gapped him another 0.3 seconds that lap. So now I can go eyes out of the mirror. I don't think he's going to make up a second unless I completely screw this up. Let's get a pull off of this car. Looks like he's going to be taking the second groove. Let's aim for the bottom here. Brandon will have to go around. Please, no, 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 Bane. Bane, get out of my way. You idiot. Move. Checkers. So we put Bane a lap down. Margin of victory is going to be just a little over a second. And that will be our 5th win of the year, tying us with Brandon. So both of us have 5 wins this year. Pretty incredible stuff. Almost replicating the real season between Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick. Just basically everyone else is showing up to run second. But that feels pretty good. Next week, though, Daytona is going to be pretty unpredictable. Oh, wow. So no laps to go on the fuel counter. So does that mean we are about out of gas? Had we pitted 1 lap sooner, we would have been in trouble. But let's go ahead and get our donut done. And there's the fuel light. So that tells you how low on fuel we actually were. We are 1 lap to the good. So we couldn't have done that any better. I think strategy-wise, that was the right call. If we had been on 4 tires and came out with Brandon, that would have been much closer, I think, and he might actually have gotten that win because he wouldn't have had to drive so hard to catch me. But I put 3 seconds on him with just that right side change, and that was the call. I risked blowing that left front tire for sure, but it all worked out in the end.
Good effort on the pit crew.
All right, let's go ahead and park up here. There's our pit stall right now. All right, let's get out of the car as per usual. Well, I mean, there's a lot of cars on the lead lap. The top 25 look to be on the lead lap. Let's take a look at the start, as that was definitely the most dicey here. So Brandon on the inside of Truex, Byron on the inside of me. I almost pinch his door down just a touch. We get a good pull from Truex, and this is where I had to roll out of it here. A good run for the 24 and the 18. Even Almirola looking up there in the top 10. That's a good run for him. Or should I say a good start for him. And then once we got the power down and we were able to start moving around Byron, it was a 2-car race. Let's take a look at the standings after Chicago. Brandon and I are tied in wins, but Brandon is leading me by 1 point. Ladies and gentlemen, that is 1 spot on the racetrack. Pretty close. Can't say that we aren't equally matched, that's for sure. Chase Elliott is still your cutoff driver. McMurray 4 to the good. Johnson 6. Kurt Busch 9. And it looks like the gap has opened up a bit. Brad could claw himself back in, but Ricky Stenhouse is almost a race out, and Ryan Blaney is a race to the good. So between 17th and 12th, it's still a 1-race race, and we've got Daytona coming up. The big plate race, big one, who knows? That's going to do it for me. Like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week for the plate race at Daytona. Take care.